Hello you all, this is Leroy Jackson with Techno Technology, your favorite refurbished electronics company. Today he's going to be showing you how to properly install the motherboard in this 27-inch iMac 2011. So I'm going to let him take over and he's going to show you visually and tell you verbally how to correctly install this motherboard.
Okay, so this is as she was saying, the 2011 27-inch iMac. Very nice computer. We're about to install the motherboard, the system board into this computer. Normally, your first step is to make sure you get as much as possible these wires out the way. You know, you don't want these wires to be in the back when you install your board, because then you can't find them, or it's difficult to get out once you install the board. So you want to take these wires out the way as best as possible, you know. So you can install your board with no issue. So here is your system board. This is your motherboard with your graphic card. This is your graphic. The CPU is behind here, and of course this is your system board. Here is the RAM. So you want to take your RAMs out because you don't want nothing to actually hold you back once you start to put in your board inside. So you just hold on to these little stuff and you pull and they come out. Pull as hard as you can and they come out. Okay. So be very gentle with your board, of course, because you don't want to take off, you don't want to be ripping this board apart. You might rip something off and then the board doesn't work anymore. So you gently slide your board in, and you do the bottom portion first. You know, you want to line up your bottom first. Make sure that you're not pulling down any wire down there. Also, you want to make sure that the board is into a comfortable position where you could install back your power before the board sits. So back here you have your power, which go to the power supply. You connect your power. Also, you have back here the wire that go to your optical drive, and you have the wire that go to the hard drive. So you want to make sure those are installed. And you have two output in the back. You could install them in whichever one you feel like installing them in. It doesn't matter, doesn't make a difference. I'm gonna be putting this one on the bottom since I don't want to flip it. And then of course these two is for your hard drive. They go below the optical, which you may want to do that first. That would make sense, right? So install your hard drive. Okay, hard drive is in, and then this is for your optical drive. Okay, and once normally you hear it snap, that means it's in very good. Okay, and you want to double check to make sure that it's there. And of course you're ready to seat your board. Once again, you want to check to make sure that all the wires that are going to be plugged in on the front of your board is out in the clear. So when you seat your board, you don't have to worry about lifting it again. So we're looking for one wire that connects here to your this wire right here that I'm trying to get out from the back is the wire that give your USB in the back and your Thunderbolt and all that stuff. So this is a very important wire, and if you notice, it's actually hidden behind the board because I see the board a little bit down already. Once you get it out, and you could see it right here, now you could drop your board down, and it doesn't really like drop itself down there. You gotta kind of work it into position, into the correct position, because it's hitching here, and this gotta go all the way down. So the board is not seated, and sometimes you could even turn the computer on the back to make sure to get a little more easier access to for it to go down properly. Once it go down and seat, you'll know, because you will see the output in the back here. You'll notice that all of these seated and seated properly. So for right now, it's not seated, because if you notice, you could see right inside the computer. So you have to work with it a little bit until it's seated properly. Once it's seated, then you could start to connect. Your wires. One thing you want to make sure, you kind of want to work backward with these boards so that you don't have to do second or third work. What I meant when I said that is, you want to connect your wire first. You want to connect all your wires first. Once you connect all the wires, you may want to do what you call a test, meaning you connect up your wire and you run a quick test on your machine to make sure that all your wires are connected and nothing will leave off. And when I start to connect the wire, you'll see what I'm talking about. And these wires made to fit in one socket, I should say. So you can't put a small wire into a big hole because it just won't work, right? All right. So now the board looks like it's seated. The graphic card up here look like it's seated, but if you notice, the screw is above, the hole is above the screw, so that means this part needs to go down some more. So now you gotta try to lift the board again and try to seat it one last time to make sure. And this little part can be tedious, because you want to make sure that your board seated properly, because if you don't seat it properly, then you're not going to, the screws, the hole for the screw is not going to be lining up as they should be lining up. So once again, sometimes you just got to play with it a little bit until it works, and it will work out. Okay, so let's check one last time at the back. Still need to go down a little more. If you notice, there's still a hole there, so the board need to go down a little more. Once it go down and fit, then you will see. And whatever way you feel comfortable of turning the computer, it doesn't make a difference. You could always turn it the way you feel comfortable of turning it. So you can see the board properly. Once it's seated, you will know that it is properly seated and you're ready for your installation. You're ready to install your wires and everything. And now it looks good now. good. So we'll lift it up one more time and check to make sure that it's lined up properly. So we'll play with it a little bit, and now you could pick it up again and you could check the back and make sure that, so now it looks a little better, but I see a little bit of groove right here. I've been working on this system a long time, so I kind of know when it's actually seated 100%, and you don't need 90%, you need 100% for these to work properly. You know, when you come on to repair, you can't do 50% or 60%, you have to do 100%, because only 100% gonna make the system work as though it's supposed to work. The main reason why we take this computer apart is to get the graphic card repair, which is this part right here. This is the graphic. We take it out to send it off and get it repaired so we can get this computer up and running. So now your board is seated properly. We're gonna start to connect back wires, and you'll know if any wires is in the back, because of course you'll see one of these sockets is empty where something's supposed to go. And if you look good also, you will see exactly, let's look for a tool here, you will see exactly where wire is supposed to go, because it's marked on the board. We're looking for this tweezer. There's one wire that's in the back that we want to take out, and this wire look like it's for the fan. It's for the fan, making the fan run. Okay, here we go. All right, so wire is out. We're gonna start to connect our wire. Okay. So first, let's connect the USB in the back and your Thunderbolt and all that cable. Okay, so this is your cable. You push it in, snap, and it's good. Something is stopping it. Gotta make sure that this board is seated properly. Seems like it's not seated, and then it lifts back up again. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of slowly move it a little bit, and then we're gonna seat it back, and then once it's seated, we're gonna probably put a screw in it so it doesn't remove again. So okay, so there we go. There we go. All right. So let's put in one of our first cues. So once we start to doing some work, let's push this back a little bit. Here is all your screws here. Some of the screws are taller than some. It's very important that you know where screws goes, because you don't want to put the tall screw in where the short screw is supposed to go. That can cause a major problem. All right, so if you don't know, the short screw go on the right, the lower bottom. So this screw will go here,
and that is the short screw.
and this is the short screw. That is good. And if you notice, if you look at these screws, one is taller than one. So you only have tall and short screw, pretty much. So one go here as well. Now that is in. And the tallest screw that you have, the tallest one that you have, will go where the CPU is, and this right there. Can't miss it. The tallest screw that you have. Okay. That is good. Then you have this screw that in between the tallest screw and the shortest screw, those screw, one go in the center, that is good, and one go to the left. That is good. All right. So now your motherboard is screwed in. Okay. Now, this little thing right here is your Wi-Fi. You go right in this little hole right here, and you'll hear when it snaps, and you will know when it's snapped because it will prop itself out forward to you. If you notice, they got a little kind of shaky thing going on. You need a screw to tighten it, and there's a little tiny screw that you use to tighten that. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on it. It's just the Wi-Fi cord. Just the Wi-Fi cord. Now that is good. Okay, don't just shake anymore. It's perfectly good. Now we're gonna install wires. Okay. So your first wire that I'm gonna install is the mic. So when you talk, if you try to record something, when you talk, you will hear yourself. And if you notice on the board, if you look good on the board, it said MIC. That is mic. Okay. So you install your mic right here, and it will fit in there because it's the correct connection. Okay. It's not one hole fit all. It's all different. Now you have your left and your right speaker, and it's these two wires. Well, the left one is smaller, the right one is smaller than the left. The right one go on the top, and you could hear it click if you listen good, and the left one go on the bottom. And the holes are too small. One is smaller than one, so you will know exactly where to put them. Okay. Alright, so we have 3 more left on this right side. One is hiding in the back. You gotta snap it out. Okay. So you have your odd fan. So this is for this thing right here. Okay.
For what again?
Your optical temp. So this is the temperature for your optical drive. Okay. This is for your fan. Okay, that is good. And then the bottom one is for your SD. Right here. Okay, that is good. Alright. Come over to the left. And we should have 3 wires. Make sure we have all 3. Now this one is for your CPU fan. Okay, that is in. This one is for your MB fan. This is the temperature. Okay. And there's another one here. And this is for your power BTN. Okay.
All of these are labeled on the board.
And all of these are labeled on the board. One more important connection. This is very important. This is for your IR, which stands for infrared. Okay. Okay, so it's snap down in there. Once it's snapped down in there, you connect in here. Okay. It's connected. That is good. Okay. Some people get a little tape and tape it right there so it doesn't move, which is very important. You can do that on your own. But
there it goes right there.
Yeah, so we're gonna make sure that on the top, of course, I hide some of these stuff out the way. make sure that we have all our wires here. That is good. And this is for your camera on the top, so you could see when you're doing FaceTime and all of that stuff. It's right here. And one important thing I want to point out, for all these little wires that we connected, they only fit one way. You can't turn it backward and it fit. If you notice the little shine thing, little gold thing on the front, so that's the part that turned facing to you. If you turn it backward, it won't go in there. You'll break it. Okay? Now this is for the hard drive fan. So if this doesn't connect when you turn your computer on, you'll hear the computer start to make a noise. Like it would be the hard drive temperature. So you need a hard drive temperature to be connected. And of course, this wire here, I want to make sure we have enough length. Hopefully I didn't tie it up back there. It doesn't seem like we have enough length, so let's make sure we could pull it out a little bit without damaging anything. There we go. There we go. And of course, this also connected to your camera, and it's set it in there as well. So let's make sure that we connected it right. And there we go. So now we're looking at our board, and we have a few empty slots. Like this one right here is empty, this one right here is empty. If you come over to the left, we have this one that's empty, and then we have this one that's empty. That is all these 4 wires, 1, 2, 3, 4 is for your LCD. Okay, we are gonna connect the LCD, but first we're gonna install the hard drive. We're gonna remove the hard drive from this computer, and we're gonna stuck it in this computer because this graphic card is bad. So let's jump to that. So what you do is you could lean the computer down, the LCD will fall out. Now you can't let it fall all the way out because you're gonna break all these connections that connect to the board, and it won't work anymore. One important thing, make sure your computer is not power on. You will get shock, and this shock will mess you up. So if you do it like I just did it, you may want to hold your power down, your power button key in the back for about 10 seconds, so you could remove all the power source from the power, because these power source hold power even when you unplug the computer for a long time. So you hold it down for 10 seconds, and then pretty much all the power will run. Okay? Now you're ready to unattach your LCD. Okay? And be sure that you don't hold the LCD too much forward, because you're gonna break the connection. Alright, so now LCD is off. Just slowly lift it gentle. Okay, we're gonna place it over here. Let's rest it right here on my chair. We're gonna remove the hard drive. It's pretty easy to remove your hard drive, nothing really. You just remove your connection. Once you remove your connection, then you could just unscrew it from the top. So you have 2 screws, 1 and the other one, 2. You just pop it forward, lift it up, and here we go. Hard drive is out. This is your hard drive. It's a 1 terabyte hard drive. We're gonna place it into this one that we just fixed. Okay. Then we're gonna screw it back up. It's pretty cool. It's not a hard work. It's a pretty easy work. The hardest thing is to get the hard drive, the board in, and seat it properly. You know, you don't want to rough the board up. You want to gently put the board in. Make sure that the board is seated properly. So we connect the hard drive. Hard drive is connected. Now we're gonna put our LCD on, and then we're gonna run the test. Now good. LCD seated. First, we're gonna connect the LCD wire. Okay, and this is the part that make you see you have output on the LCD. Okay, so it's kind of tedious. I have big hands. I'm a little guy, but I have big hands. You know, it's connected. There's a little clip that you flip down, and you could actually hear it tick. Once you flip it down, you would hear it tick. And then this is the temperature for the LCD. So in Apple system, they have a lot of a temperature wire that make the system run cool. You know, that's the thing I love about Apple system. So those two are in, and here's the power, of course. You know, as I say, I have big hands, so sometimes it's kind of hard for me to work in these small little. And here it tick. Once it tick, it's good. Once it tick, it's good. Remember that. That one is in. Voila. LCD is on, and we're ready to do our magic test. Now, bear in mind that we're working for graphic, so we're about to power it up and see if this system come on. And of course, you have to screw up your LCD. For right now, we're not gonna screw it up. We just want to test to make sure that the computer comes on. We did take the RAM out, so let's put the RAM back in. And the RAMs only go one way. Very importantly, the RAMs only go one way. If you notice, it has the little notch right there. So you turn the notch, the less part of the notch, you turn it to the left. Okay, remember that. Left part of the notch, I have the smallest part, you turn it to the left, and they have groove on the bottom. You put the back one in first, not the front one in, the back one, and you hear it click. You put the other one at the front, you hear it click, voila. And the same thing to the next side. And you push it up, and you hear it click. Once it click means good, guys. Remember that. Clicks mean good. Voila. So, let's do our magic test. We hit the power button. Let's see what comes on the output. Voila. Looks good so far. We got a wide screen, which is good. We hear the charm. We got a wide screen. And of course, this is our video, our first video for YouTube. Like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. And hopefully I get a chance to do another video, okay? But this is now for our Apple stuff. We have a lot more to do. Send us a like, and peace out.